NFL fans in the UK have never had it so good. Expansive TV coverage, a wide array of digital information at their fingertips, and this year 3 regular season games played at Wembley Stadium. But why has London been chosen as the NFL's gateway to the rest of the world? What's the long-term game plan? And what are the implications for other professional sporting leagues like the Premier League, keenly eyeing the NFL's success? American football first gained popularity in the UK back in the 1980s, with the Brits intoxicated with this new, glamorous, colourfully brutal sport. But in terms of seeing their stars in the flesh, they had to make do with a series of exhibition matches like the American Bowl. Over the coming decades, various initiatives like NFL Europe, ostensibly a reserve league, failed to truly ignite, which makes it all the more remarkable that 2014 marks the 9th, 10th and 11th International Series games to be played at Wembley. One of the key protagonists behind the project is Alistair Kirkwood.
There was a 5-year plan, but it was rewritten probably within a week of playing the first game. So the 5-year plan was initially to play games around key markets, and I think the UK would get one in 2007 and then get the next one in either 2009 or 2010, and other games will be played elsewhere. 55% on average of our rosters don't have passports before they come over to the UK, so it's not that they've never played abroad, it's they've never been abroad. Initially, to start off with, most of our internal meetings and our planning meetings were, what's the difference between a 2-point plug and a 3-point plug? You know, that level of basic. And you actually needed players and coaches to come over in order to have peers that future teams and players and coaches could then talk to. Because we're suits, we're always going to say, this is going to be brilliant, this is going to be great, trust us. But if you have the New York Giants in 2007 saying, this was really good, jet lag may be a challenge, but it's not insurmountable. Here's all the things that we did, this is how we would improve going forward, then you get a level of kind of confidence as a result.
Over 250,000 people will be going to the NFL games at Wembley this season, and 33,000 of them have bought tickets to all 3 of the games. They call those season tickets. And with well-attended fan rallies in Trafalgar Square and on Regent Street and widespread media exposure, it all points to quite tangible buy-in.
I remember when I first went to Wembley with my dad didn't want to go. It was because his 2 sons wanted to go and watch the American Bowl at Wembley in like 88, 89. And now what I'm seeing dads taking the kids instead of kids taking the dads. So I think if the NFL can get some kind of initiative to grow grassroots football and maybe develop the American football leagues in the UK, then I think it's a good place to start, because there are over 90 teams now within British universities alone.
I actually think this year is the year when it really flicked, something turned over for me, because selling out 3 games in the speed they sold them out, and we're talking about a couple of weeks before all 3 80,000-seater games at Wembley sold out, that was a huge point for me. It's a big gap between saying we can sell out 1 game in London and saying that we can do this 3 times and not even have to worry about it, not even be pushing tickets to the end. So I think that this is a really big year for the NFL and is a real sort of statement of how far the sport here has come.
So I've been a Miami Dolphins fan for just over 30 years.
I think it's growing all the time. I mean, there's a lot of amateur teams like Gateshead Senators in the area where I'm from are growing all the time.
It's a start. You know, when you travel across the pond to a football game, that's when you know you love football. So, you know, it remains to be seen, but I think it's a good start.
Died off a bit in the 90s, but it's picked up again in 2000. And as you can see, it's packed every Wembley game now. Sellouts. You can't ask for better, really.
Racked up an absolute fortune on my dad's telephone bill. You could ring those numbers up and get the scores, but they'd always delay the result till right to the end. They'd try and keep you on the line for as long as possible. So, you know, it's changed dramatically. It's a massive, massive difference. But you know, back in the day when I was watching, it was just highlights. That was the only thing you could get. And now you can have your highlights. You can have, well, absolutely everything that's out there. More games than people probably get in the United States as well.
We're here, right? We flew out here. I flew from Hawaii to come here for an NFL game. You know, so it's awesome.
I don't think it is a novelty factor because the sport's growing. There's more genuine fans. It's one of the fastest growing sports in the UK. I think people would get behind it, especially the new generation of fans.
In the States, we start the night before, and we party all the way to game day. Here's a little bit different. We've had to go to pubs and stuff like that to have our parties. But we'll teach you guys well.
2007 we started coming here. I organize a group of 300 Spanish people coming every year from Spain all around.
You guys are soccer guys, so it's a different type of football. But I think it'll work out in the end.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, because there's no trouble between fans. All the fans get on together, they talk to each other, they have photographs taken, and everyone gets on. There's no trouble at all, and that's what I like about it. Brilliant.
I see the buses say, hey, you know, Black Raider Nation's coming, Raider Nation's coming. Guess what, Raider Nation? We're here! We're here! Raider Nation is here! Hey, and we're getting strong! And we come strong! No matter where we go, we're always coming strong!
How important do you think it is that for the game to grow even more in this country, that the grassroots game is developed even more?
If the NFL, you know, really does assert itself, it can be so influential to other sports within Great Britain, you know. And I think the Premier League is taking a serious look at what the NFL is doing right now. And I think if we can get grassroots up and running, then I think it'll be a real game changer.
Skeptics cite logistical issues as one of the main barriers for further expansion, and the operation of stage games in London is particularly complex, with an emphasis on creating an environment that the teams are used to, with a focus on detail and routine. So are the players buying in?
Just from a player standpoint, I mean, the game today was amazing. I mean, was it 86,000 fans, everybody yelling and screaming, you know, just support all around the city, you know, for the past few days was tremendous.
It was tough getting adjusted. I wouldn't say I even got totally adjusted, but the people around here have been so kind. The attractions have been awesome. I got a chance to go down to downtown London a little bit and check out Harrods and things like that. So it was very rushed, but people were great. Directions helping was awesome, and I actually enjoyed the food. So it was something to look forward to coming in the future.
It was great, man. It was more than I expected, honestly. But you know, I knew it was going to be live, but it was crazy. It was a great atmosphere. It was fun. It was a little different seeing everybody with all the jerseys on from every team. You know, it felt like a Play 60 commercial. You know, it was crazy, but it was a great atmosphere.
When you travel so far away from America, and you know, American football is obviously just such an American-saturated sport, and when you travel, you know, across the big sea and come over to London and see so much support, it's surprising, and it makes you feel good. You know that there's people worldwide that are supporting you and your efforts and what you do.
The international series has clearly been a success so far. The question is, what happens next? Are the NFL looking to create a franchise over in London, or maybe their focus should be on having more regular season games featuring different teams throughout the course of the season? Is there a big enough fan base to sustain either of those eventualities? And if there isn't, how does the NFL go about growing the fan base in the UK even more? Either way, what happens over the next 3 or 4 years will be instrumental in how other professional sporting leagues approach the question of international expansion.